All right, I'm gonna go ahead and maybe give a little bit of documentation, video documentation of my arborvitaes, my evergreen arborvitaes, and because I just see, I've been trying to find research about these, and I've been staying up on them. You know, the care, the nursing of these things is a is enjoyable and has been just a lot of learning on my part. So I wanted to take a moment to document this really. So these arborvitae, were planted in April of 2022. Today it is August 10th, 2023, and so I think I have, what is it, 12 here? Let's see, what do we got there? 4, 8, yeah, 12. So 12 arborvitae in a row, has a nice little privacy hedge. And every so often, every couple weeks or so, I'll come out here and just kind of look them over. I kind of have a rating system, 1 to 5, and 5 being the best, that I kind of mentally take note of every time I come out and assess. And I think when I got them, they were 5 gallons, I believe. I had them officially, planted by the place that the nursery that I purchased them from. They had a nice little mix that they planted them with. Long story short, it was pretty awesome. I had it done professionally, and I was very pleased with just the thought and care that went into planting them. I didn't buy them from a big box location, although I'm sure those will be fine as well. But these, I just had a really good start. I knew that it was important the first year. I'm in Minnesota, so the first year in this cold climate, to get them nice and rooted and watered well every single, I forget what the process was, but to have them watered so that they could take root, get established before winter came. Now, winter of last year wasn't that cold, but the snow at the very end was heavy, and I noticed it split a few of them that were down there. Now, looking at these now, they look much better. The tops, the points, the leading point is. So again, 5 gallons. They were about 4 feet when I got them, and so they're getting much bigger now. I think they've grown about I'm gonna say maybe 5 to 6 inches. So a lot of them have grown a little bit more than that, but on average, yeah, 5 to 6 inches is what I feel like I'm looking at here, standing next to them. So this one here was interesting. You see, I kind of did there's something going on there. I just basically added some more ground, if you will, some sand and some dirt, so that I can level that out, because when it would rain, this area here would get a bit of a pond, a pool around these 2 arborvitae. And so notice that, coming out of winter into spring, when it was very wet, and I think it was just too saturated. The ground was too saturated on these 2. And I think it caused the base of this one, especially on the far right here, and this one to kind of narrow and thin out a bit, kind of brown, and just too much water. In addition to that, I gotta tell you, spraying for deer. I sprayed these arborvitae to protect for deer, kind of a deer repellent, because deer and rabbit even love these things. And so, every season, especially the first year, so from April to coming into April this year, it's been like an all-out defense with trying to make sure that these babies are able to develop and stay healthy. Now, here's where we're at today. I've learned about spider mites and bagworms, and I've sprayed them for spider mites in the hottest parts of the year. In summer, early this year, it was the first time that I was like, oh, it looks like, here's a good one. Number 4 from the right, I call her. Or excuse me, number 5 from the right, I call her. Is probably our weakest one right now. Because as you can perhaps see by the contrast, it is the lightest lightest, most frail looking one, most brown. The color of it is a little light green, a bit light green, and you see I've kind of I've taken off some dead browns from that one earlier. I've been out here cleaning and pruning for a while. So here's what I've done just to kind of, say where we're at. So again, August, I've actually tried to really do some surgical support for this one in particular, and I've actually, so the two on the right have recovered quite nicely, so much so that that second one there from the right is probably one of the two tallest ones we've got, so it's growing nicely. That fourth one is beautiful. I love just how healthy that one looks. This one's the weakest, and then I would say the one right next to it and the one right next to that, these three in the middle are the ones that I'm watching the most. I'm giving them some extra attention, and those over there seem to be just loving life and modeling what it looks like to be gorgeous and amazing, which I'm appreciative of. So, but what I've done, I've started to spray, obviously, during the summer for spider mites. That seemed to actually take care of what was happening to this one next to it. I wonder if I got to this one a bit too late. So I started to research and, compost tea. And I started to basically purchase cow manure. I've got some in my garage, poured it into a bucket, kind of aerated it, made compost tea. And I've done that with this tree maybe 3 times over the past month or so, a little over a month, and hoping to kind of see a reinvigoration, see if this will green up at all. I've not seen much of anything. So just today I went, started researching yet again. The thing about YouTube, especially, not a lot of videos. I mean, there's a lot of videos about Arborvitae, of course, and people love their Arborvitae. I do too. But there's different takes, and I'm sure mine might be too long for you. But I think if you're growing these things, if you're nursing Arborvitae, you really do care to hear. I do. I cared to hear how people are thinking about these, and I know I don't have myself in the video, so hopefully this can just all be about the Arborvitae. But I did learn from several of others who have done this prior to me, to get some fertilizer. I forget who makes it. Is it Some, or I don't know. I wish I had the bag with me, but you can look up the fertilizer that you can purchase for trees and shrubs and evergreens especially. And I've since, when I first had them planted, I even had the stake fertilizers that you can stake into the ground, slow release. I've got those spread throughout here from, back in April when I planted them, or when I had them planted, and I did it just again recently, like maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. So that's in the ground. I'm taking care of the ground quite a bit, the soil around them. But then for this one, specifically, but back to that surgery. So I just today put some fertilizer around the ring of this one. And I've actually, I've got some lining in between each of these so that weeds can kind of slow down and not grow in between. And also I've got the mulch. But I think with this one, I'm going to cut it way back away from the tree, just giving more opportunity for moisture to hit the dirt, hit the soil. But also I've got the fertilizer spread, about 3 pounds of it worth around this Arborvitae. We'll see if it comes back to life. I'm very interested to see if I can recover her. I would love to keep her. I would love to see her make a full rebound, but I also, just because I didn't want to take care of this one and then have that one all of a sudden come back great and something else kind of goes down, I fertilized all of them. So we want to see them all survive and succeed. And this one here, we'll call her Shirley. Shirley just needs some TLC. But this is August. My goal is to get Shirley and all of her siblings here and family up to snuff, where they feel real strong and ready for winter 2023 in Minnesota. So I'll report back as 10 minutes of you looking at what I believe to be gorgeous, beautiful, luxurious cover girls. Cover trees. They're gorgeous. I love them. All right, there's that. Cheers.